Hi there, wanted to do a quick little talk about how I'm turning my thigh highs into tights by just attaching them to the top of some existing dance tights for Nora's cosplay. As you can see, I've already done one leg. I'm just gonna walk through the other leg. I did actually test this after I did that first leg, and that's why I don't have them both pinned at the same time. You want to flip your tights inside out and keep your leg warmers, your thigh highs, whatever they are, right sides out. So when you slip the leg warmer inside the tights, they are right sides together. If you can see I have two pins here. I marked either side because these have seams. So here's the seam and this is the opposite side. You'll see why right now, because clearly the top of my homemade thigh high is a lot smaller than the tights. And you want to be careful with the pins so you don't create runs. I just got these out of the package, so they still have lovely fold lines along either side, which is going to help line up one fold line on the inside of the tight with the seam here. And then you're going to do the same on the other side. So there's the other fold line, and this was the exact halfway point across from my seam. Ta-da! Next comes the just really funny part. You want to get anything that is solid and roughly the width of your thighs. For me, that is a still wrapped tube of paper towels. Sorry about dropping that. Because you need to take your tights very carefully, again, because you don't want to create runs, and work it over. It's easier to do when I'm sitting down so I can hold on to the paper towels with my legs. So you're going to work it over the top of the paper towel roll and slide it down. Just really slide it on there and then flip it over, and you can see it's actually stretched taut now, so I don't have a bunch of wrinkles on the inside as I go around and pin all of that. So, now that I have it nice and taut, I'm going to go ahead and just match up wherever it is. They both, because they're stretchy fabrics and they've been stretched, have a tendency to roll. So you just manually unroll it, stick a pin through. Make sure you have really sharp pins because the dull pins are going to cause more runs. I haven't had any runs on the other side, and that's partly because I'm pinning very carefully, partly because these are fresh new dance tights. You don't want to try this with sheer stockings, for example. You can see there's a little bit of red right here. I don't know if you can see, but I can see there's a little bit of red right there, and that's actually where I marked where I wanted to cut the tights. And I did that with them on me. So I put the tights on, put the thigh highs on, and then marked a little bit below where the top of the thigh highs were. And that's so when I sew it, I'm not losing that space and they're coming up higher than they should. You just keep pinning around until it's way more pinned than you think it really should be. Check for any gaps. That should be okay. And what you do, flip it back over and very carefully scrunch it off. At that last moment, it is going to fling at you, so just lift it up. There it goes. And that way you don't stab yourself with 1,000 flying needles. and then just go through and make sure, like that one right there had caught one thread, and if I'd pulled on that, it might have caused a tear, so I'm just making sure none of them have gotten caught. All right, now we're over at the serger, and the serger is going to allow you to maintain stretch, which is why this works. If you don't have a serger, you don't want to ruin your tights, all that sort of stuff, just hand sew them to your tights while they're on your body. I've heard people do that, and I've heard it works well. I don't have the patience for that, and I'm really afraid of stabbing myself because tights. So that's part of the reason I'm doing this. All right, you want to pop off the side of your serger if it has that function. This is really helpful so that you can get at the smaller smooth area. Arm? That's not the arm. I don't know what that's called. Workspace? Anyway, the smaller one. Lift up the foot in preparation, and you're gonna find where the seam is. I just like to start there. Plus, if anything goes wrong in those first couple stitches, then it's hidden on the inside of your leg. And you're gonna stretch it right over that workspace there. Pull out the needle. You have to always pull out your needles when working with a serger because it has a blade. And if you try to sew over your needle, you're going to break multiple things. One being the needle and one being the serger, and hopefully not any of your body parts. So I'm trying to get this lined up. If it's a little imperfect, that's okay, because again, the serger has a blade. You're gonna pop that down and pull the tight taut. You want it to make sure that that legging underneath isn't bunched up, and start slowly pulling needles out, readjusting, pulling taut, and going again. And when you get back around to the start, just sew through and then sew right off. It got caught a little bit there. Don't worry about that too much. Just cut it, fix it in a moment. There we go. So it's fully sewed there. You tie off the ends and then cut them, and then you can flip it. Here's what it looks like flipped right sides out, not on my body. It's definitely weird. It reminds me of some kind of flower and or jellyfish. Yeah, but when you put it on your body, it looks a lot better. Let me show you. So here they are on my legs. Nice clean line. You can put decoration up there, you know, give it a little more of a top band appearance if you want. But as the costume I'm making this for has armor there, I'm not going to worry about it. They'll scooch up a tiny bit because this fabric is tighter than this fabric is, but it's not a big problem. You can always, you know, manipulate them. Just make sure, you know, use the palm of your hand, not your nails, just like with normal tights. And they're not going to fall down. You're not going to be walking around and then suddenly your thigh highs are below your knees. Oh yeah.